Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Alpha 3.22 is getting a ton of updates and polish in the open PTU currently. There's a new mini patch for that that's just come out, and CIG have released a patch watch post going over some quality of life improvements that are in the latest major patch release that we can look forward to, but sometimes get overlooked. So yeah, Alpha 3.22 adds simplistic yet important structural salvage, new hairstyles, including long hair, multi-crew for Arena Commander, new maps, settlements, and more. CIG put out a Alpha 3.22 patch watch quality of life post that covered a few more things in this patch. Tractor/towing UI updates. We have made several UI positional changes to improve readability when using the feature. These include deflection flipped in the SRV cockpit, range bar ease factor, target name above status, force bar fixes including centering force, throttle and gimbal widgets hidden in turrets, towing UI scale up, improved marked feedback for turret orientation, improved perspective on radar plane, and range bar readability improvements. Happy beaming. So yeah, UI for the SRV and more generally just using this sort of tractor beam at ship scale has been improved quite a lot there. They fixed NPCs falling through stairs and floors in underground facilities. This is actually something that's caused a huge amount of problems previously with NPCs not being there to complete missions, not spawning properly, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of it is because they were falling through the floor and stairs. Admittedly, some of it's still elevator issues that can persist sometimes, doesn't always. Sometimes you get problems with these underground facility missions and spawning in AI still, but a lot of the problems have now been solved. They've put in further fixes to help resolve wheeled ground vehicles continuously vibrating when stationary in atmosphere. Now, I'm not sure if this is one of the reasons that vehicles had seen sort of a bug where they all slowed down in the 3.22 PTU, but it might be. Hopefully they'll be resolving that as well, but I don't want to see vehicles twitching or janking out. That sort of breaks immersion, right? Front-end style updates. They've updated the menu title, text, colors, and logos, updated button styles and button state changes, idle, over, down, and disabled. Added messaging and UI info for parties, friends, notification lists. You're just going to have a slightly better time with this sort of front end for Star Citizen. They fixed an issue causing entities such as cargo boxes to slide on all ships' lifts during animation, which again, I don't like jank. The more stuff they can clear that up, the better. Also, I think it is much better for their netcode in general if they can clean this stuff up so it doesn't cause weird issues with it being confused where certain things are. I suppose it's like server issues and it's many issues. Reduce the jank, save the world. They've done some work on procedural weapon recoil and an FPS combat balance pass. So the introduction of procedural weapon aim recoil to first-person shooter combat's been made here. With this update, they've overhauled the recoil of the majority of weapons to use the new and improved procedural recoil tool shown at CitizenCon. This will improve the diversity of the weapon sandbox, allowing each weapon to fulfill a more specific and niche role, whilst allowing for more intense visual recoil. Overall, you'll find greater variety in how weapons play and feel, including weapons having consistent recoil patterns and the removal of aim down sight spread. So, really, really cool to hear. They've made loads of changes to weapons. In fact, there's been full weapon reworks with some of them. So the Arc Light pistol has had a full rework and is now a burst pistol with an alt fire, which is single mode. So primary fire is Robocop, sort of burst fire. The LH86 pistol is now fully automatic. There's fire rate changes on the Democo S71 and P48R. They've been reworked to increase their fire rates. The Lumen 5's burst delay has been decreased. Force reaction updates. This is going to make a lot of people very happy. So forces have been tweaked across a range of weapons to make knockdowns only occur in certain situations where they sort of feel that it should occur. This should appear as an overall reduction in staggers and knockdowns, something that happened all too often in weird situations where they probably shouldn't have, if you just get clipped by the outside of an explosion or a shotgun clips you and you still go flying or whatever. Other changes to weapons include balancing to the sniper rifles to avoid players in heavy armor being one-shot when hit by a sniper rifle. However, if you're wearing medium armor, that can still happen. There's been adjustments to player health, damage modifiers, and medical stuff to increase time to kill, TTK. This is overall the first major pass towards the new time to kill goal. The FPS team is eager to hear feedback on how you feel about these sort of values here, but the idea is that it's a bit harder to take people down, and once they're on the floor, it takes a little bit more to actually take them out entirely. They want players to be able to be rescued and call for aid and stuff like that. FPS damage modifiers, they've made adjustments to allow for more consistent firefights and times. They've removed the increased stamina cost of your limb being on low health. They've also removed the movement speed penalty on that as well. Medical pens will now fully heal players to 100% health. The idea here is to make everything a bit more accessible, and if your guy is, crippled, it wasn't necessarily fun you having to walk like 4 times as long, 5 times as long in a direction as you're staggering around and you can't see properly. Remember, all of these sort of things, Cloud Imperium reserve the right to change and rebalance in the future. They're asking basically for feedback on all of this for 3.22 after you've had some time to play with it. And some of these systems they are trying to gamify more than sim, so sort of bear that in mind. We should see another patch watch next week from CIG, focusing on system design, vehicles, and more. So that one will be quite juicy. StarSet is now for 3.22 on the EPTU. It's in OpenPTU. There's just been a new mini patch dropped for this. This is sort of spit and polish, trying to get it out to live, I believe, for next week. They've added star map records for derelict settlements. They've also been trying to improve performance in those areas as well, those derelict settlements, which can be very, very aggressive to system resources. They've increased the Crusader Planet.com array range to encompass the whole of the planet. The structural salvage has seen a VFX polish pass, and a ton of issues and crashes have been fixed. There are still a lot of issues that require attention though, from ASOC problems to docking. Patch is not ready for prime time, in my opinion. They need to solve some of this stuff before pushing out. Also, we're still expecting to see, well, something that was sneak peeked in last week's newsletter, the X1 hoverbike. We know that that's planned for 3.22 at some point, hopefully for the initial release. And this week's sneak peek was in the newsletter was of the Santok Yai. Again, that's going to be in 3.22 at some point, probably with the initial build. And there could be other things as well. There could be new vehicles or variants or something like that. There's Luminalia coming up, which is Christmas, with the sort of packages that you can find in game, and then new types of delivery missions. Also, it's likely that Cloud Imperium will be keen to try Siege of Orison again with some additional updates and fixes from the last time they ran it recently. But boom, yeah, that's your updates for Alpha 3.22 at the moment. I'm interested to know, are you playing in the Open EPTU? What are you thinking of that? Have you noticed these quality of life improvements? Are you actually digging them? Do you think they're great with times to kill and that sort of stuff? Or are you like, actually, I don't like what they've done with this? I think some people refer to it as a Robocop simulator. Some people are like, oh no, I want it to be much more simmy. I don't want it to be, I don't want to be tanky at all. As a gamer that's getting a bit older now, I do prefer having a bit more health and being a bit more tanky and more being able to have a few more mistakes in the way I play, allowing me to still recover. But some people prefer more unforgiving gameplay, and some people have signed up for the more sim experience. I'm just sort of interested to know what you think of that. Are you expecting the Santok Yai and the X1 to be in the initial release of 3.22? And do you think we're going to see it live next week? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Ho ho ho, it's me, Father Nordmus. That's right, it's that time again to see who's on my naughty list for who doesn't have a VPN.
No, that's Northern Claus!
Grass from Northern Claus, Timmy. You should be scared of not having a VPN. As you know, Father Nordmus punishes all that disobey him. It's the perfect Nordmus present, Timmy. There's no excuse. I can see all of your website history, and I'm going to sell all of your data, Tim.
NordVPN helps protect your online activity, gives you greater accessibility to the content you want by changing your location, and much, much more. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer before Das Northern Claus finds you. Every month we have a Star Citizenship giveaway. For December, we are giving away a Drake Corsair. It's the winner of the 2953 Ship Showdown and one of the stars of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. This fantastic multi-role, multi-crew, long-range mission runner can do a bit of everything in-game, and it has a penchant for exploration. Just comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. There are further details in the description below. A big thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel via Patreon or the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member. It will net you some exclusive content from Zin and I, but also it really does help us to be able to create daily Star Citizen content, as does sharing these videos and commenting. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.